What's going on, nation citizens? Tyler Yaremchuk here with a little instant analysis to the big news of the day. The Edmonton Oilers are signing veteran forward Corey Perry for the remainder of the season. Our very own Frank Saravalli gave us some of the details on Twitter, saying that there were other suitors like the Panthers, Rangers, and Tampa Bay Lightning, but Perry ultimately choosing to join Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. Frank did say it's expected to be a deal near league minimum, so we're still waiting on some finalized details there. But Corey Perry coming in dirt cheap, and will be looking to win his second career Stanley Cup with the Edmonton Oilers. This is a guy that's won a lot, though. The one ring back in his time with Anaheim, but he's played for a lot of successful teams. He's gone on a lot of long playoff runs, and despite the fact he's 38 years old, he can still be impactful. This is a marriage that I think made a lot of sense from the jump. People connected Perry to the Oilers almost immediately for a number of reasons. You look, they need help in their bottom six. It's been hot as of late during this 13-game winning streak, but it's tough to deny the fact it's been inconsistent so far this year. They need help in the bottom six. Perry's going to give them some jam as well, and that's something they lost and, quite frankly, never really replaced all that well when Klim Kostin was moved to the Detroit Red Wings over the summer. So he gives them some jam. He's going to make the Edmonton Oilers more difficult to play against, and that is always a good thing. The other reason this made sense is because the Oilers have never really shied away from going this route before. Think back to the Zach Kassian acquisition. Think back to the Evander Kane signing. Those are two players that came in with a lot of baggage and, quite frankly, a lot of controversy as well. What did they do? They came to Edmonton and they turned their careers around and they got back on track for the most part. And when you look at Perry, we don't know why his time in Chicago came to an end, but we do know there was controversy there, and there is a bit of a risk in bringing in a guy like this, but the Oilers have never shied away from it. And quite frankly, I think he's going to slide into this lineup absolutely perfectly. Being more difficult to play against is always a good thing. And the positives are, you can kind of go on and on about them, quite frankly. When you look at Perry, this is a guy who has hit double digits in goals each of the last two seasons. And this year with Chicago, he had 4 goals in the first 16 games. You all know I'm not great at math, but that is pretty much a 20-goal pace over the course of an 82-game season. Now, he might not get the same opportunities he was getting when he was with the Chicago Blackhawks, but the bottom line is, despite his age, despite the miles that he's had in the NHL, he can still be a very good bottom six player for the Oilers, and that is exactly what they needed. There's a lot of holes on this roster. Even though they look great right now, they probably need some defensive depth. They might need some depth between the pipes. They need a third-line center. They might need a top six winger. The fact that you can scratch one item, help in the bottom six, and some wing depth, you can scratch that off without having to give up assets or really any sort of meaningful cap space is very, very significant. And I know some people are looking at this and going, you just won 13 games in a row. Why do you want to break up this chemistry if you're Ken Holland and the Edmonton Oilers? Quite frankly, I don't see any risk here. This is a locker room with a core group of players that has been together for a very long time now. They are very tight-knit. There's no chance someone like Perry is going to come in and disrupt things to any sort of level. So I think this is a slam dunk fit. I don't see any downside. It's not like this is a big trade where 2 or 3 pieces are moved off the roster and you're worried about disrupting chemistry or something like that or sending the wrong message to the team. This is a freebie. This is an absolute freebie, and it's a no-brainer for Ken Holland, Jeff Jackson, and the Edmonton Oilers. So like Frank said, we could see Corey Perry in the lineup as soon as this week, and that'll be important as well. He's been training and skating, but he hasn't played in a hockey game in quite some time. The Oilers have 3 games, and it's the bye week, then it's the All-Star break. I think it's important to see Corey Perry on the ice, showing he's in game shape sooner rather than later, and ideally before that break. We're going to continue breaking this down all week on Oilers Nation, so make sure you tune in, subscribe to the YouTube. Oilers Nation every day will be live Monday at 12 o'clock Mountain. What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.